Hello, this is Lucretia with the Calm and Confident You podcast. Today I have a guest in the studio that I'm going to interview. Her name is Debbie Blackwell, and her background is in nursing, but at a certain point she shifted gears and went a different direction for her own health, and now she helps other people with their health from what she learned. So, Debbie, welcome to my studio.
Thank you, Lucretia. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm glad you agreed to come on the podcast.
Well, it's my first time, so I'm breathing.
We'll be easy on you.
I know.
What would you say your exact title is for what you do?
Well, I'm an Optavia health and wellness coach.
Okay, and what is Optavia?
Well, number one, you pronounce it like Mamma Mia, so you did a great job, Lucretia. So Optavia, and it stands for all around ultimate health, and we have created a system that's actually been around for 40 years. So it's got a lot of science behind it, a lot of history, millions of people getting healthy with it. And I'm an independent health coach. So I am privileged to have an amazing company behind me with amazing systems and history.
You use these systems for yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Before we get too technical, could you just kind of let people know a little bit about you, like where you grew up and kind of what your life was like?
Well, my father was in the Air Force. He was a career veteran, and so I moved around a lot. We lived overseas. We never lived with family, and I learned to be very adaptable and make friends quickly, and then say goodbye quickly sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I went to. My father retired in South Carolina, so I went to high school and college in South Carolina. I went to Clemson University. I graduated as a nurse, and then I met my husband, and he was a Marine Corps. He was in the Marine Corps. So then I started traveling like for 20 years
Yeah.
with my husband. So
Okay.
it was fabulous that I was a nurse and had a background of meeting people and talking to new people and new experiences all the time.
Great. Sounds exciting. So, how did you come to be a nurse? Did you know you wanted to be a nurse?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. I did not. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought kind of maybe playing in the woods and being Ranger Rick would be a cool idea. Seriously. And so I went into forestry. Clemson University had a great forestry program. And after 2 years, I realized the forest was becoming a nightmare because I didn't know the things I was supposed to be knowing, and I knew I needed to switch to something, but I didn't want to lose all the credits of 2 years of hard college.
Yep.
And well, I flipped through the syllabus, to be honest, Lucretia, and nursing came up, and I would not lose credits moving to nursing, believe it or not. And lo and behold, my very first class in nursing, I knew I was in the right place. I fell in love,
Excellent.
and really the rest was history.
Wonderful. Great story. But you're not a nurse now, and you said you were a nurse for how long?
30 years.
Woo! Okay. And I think I saw
I
somewhere you were an ER nurse?
I was a little bit of everything because I moved around so much with my husband in the military. I was moving every 6 months to 2 years,
Wow.
to be honest, all the time. And thank God I was a nurse. And we did not have children right off. We waited 8 years to have kids. So it was an adventure. And I loved nursing. And I was so flexible because of my background as a kid that I loved all my jobs. And I was able to kind of pick and choose what types of jobs I wanted based on the income or the hours I was going to work. I always worked full time, and I did everything from open heart surgeries to home health care to interventional radiology to labor and delivery to the ER. I started off in critical care. And so it just set me up for a beautiful nursing career that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, you've seen a lot, so you have a lot of experience too. But somewhere along the way, you left nursing behind. How did that decision come about?
I did. I ended up, my husband retired in Spokane, Washington, which is where I live now. And he became a financial advisor, and I continued being a nurse. And I continued to love nursing. It was my passion, and I loved the different jobs I had. Um, but my health was taking a downturn. My history of health was that I was a quote yo-yo dieter, and every year since my 20s, since I was in college, I was on a diet every year.
Yep.
And looking back on that, I am like, holy smokes, I dieted every year for 30 years. And I was 53. I was at an impasse again, not being able to fit into my pants. I was having to go up in size in my scrubs. And it was time for my yearly diet. And I didn't want to do all the things I'd done in the past that I knew would work if I really worked it, meal prepping, counting calories, even taking a walk, let alone doing something strenuous at the gym. And I had not heard of Optavia, but I saw a friend on Facebook like melt away, and I knew she didn't exercise, so I was like, I'm in. I don't care what it is. I need to lose 10 pounds quick for vacation. I just got to be able to zip up my pants.
Okay.
And that's how all this started. I had no intention of turning it into a career.
Yep.
My intention was to cancel out 1 month, just like all my other diets.
Right.
And lo and behold, I felt amazing in the first few days. I couldn't believe how simple it was.
In the first few days. Wow.
In the first few days, yes. After a week, I was giddy. I was like, holy smokes, I feel amazing. I've got more energy. I'm sleeping better. And oh my gosh, the scale's already moving, and I was not exercising. I wasn't even taking a walk.
So were there diet pills or like a diet shake or anything that you take for this?
Well, our company has a Habits of Health, and we have 4 components. Yes, I chose to go with their program for my eating, but it's through baby steps, and it's the eating part of their program has been around for 40 years. So they know exact nutrition that's still yummy. You're still eating 6 times a day. You're still getting plenty of nutrition to be able to put your body into a very mild fat burn so that your body starts to use your own fat for energy.
Right.
Like, what a concept. Our bodies are so beautiful.
Yes.
And it's
made for that.
the science of it all. It's the science that our company has got the science exact so that all you do is eat 5 times a day. Out of the products, there's about 50 items you can choose from. There's a lot of them. And it's everything from bars and shakes to soups and pastas to brownies and pretzel type things, desserts. It's all kinds of things, but they're grab and go, or it's super easy to prepare. They're non-perishable so that the busy person, which that's who I was, doesn't have to think. You just set an alarm and you eat. How beautiful is
And you were doing this while you were still a nurse.
Of course, yes. So I could do it. And I was an operating room nurse, so I wore a mask before masks were cool.
Yeah.
Before COVID. And so even in the public, even wearing a mask, I could do this. I also was learning what a healthy meal looked like. That's part of our program. We call it the 5-in-1 program, which is only one of about 11 different programs we have, but it's our most popular. And the one meal I'm learning how to create is vegetables, a little bit of fat, and 5 to 7 ounces of protein. What a concept.
Right, exactly.
And how do we do that easy, without having to overthink it, without having to do a huge recipe, without having to do meal prep? And so that's what I was doing. It was great success. My body was loving it. I decreased inflammation my first week, and then got into fat burn by day 4, and it was amazing. And now it's been 8 years. I was doing this in the pockets of my time as a nurse and as somebody who loves helping people. I started basically shouting from the rooftops. I mean, and so people started asking me, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know this works. It's super simple. I've got a coach that's helping me. So, yeah, I think I'm going to coach too because I want to help people this way.
Okay.
And the rest is history. Over time, I started decreasing my nursing hours. I started saying I want to, instead of 40 hours a week, I only want to work 30 hours a week. And I started gradually decreasing my nursing hours because I was having so much fun helping people. I just felt in a more impactful way. I wasn't just putting band aids on people
Yep.
or helping them feel comfortable as I rolled them into surgery and then rolled them into a recovery room.
Yep.
Uh, it was powerful, and couples were getting healthy together, families were getting healthy together, and it's for life
I was
if you
just going
use
to
all those
ask you,
components.
did your husband do this with you or?
Oh no.
Of course.
But my husband has been lame his whole life,
Oh,
and but I will tell you what my husband did do. My husband is not good about eating, and like I said, we have 11 different programs, and so he needed to eat, and he would go to work and not think about taking a lunch or
right.
whatever.
Hmm.
So he still to this day, 8 years later, he still has our food in his office so he can grab and go. He
Great.
still has a shake in his coffee every morning so that he gets his breakfast with his shake.
Huh.
Um, and then, of course, I'm still creating healthy meals. And so on the weekends, it's, I'm not strict anymore. I've been at my goal weight for 8 years, and I'm optimizing my health now.
Wow.
So I get to learn what that means as a 61-year old. As things are not what they used to be when I was 50, let alone 30.
Right.
So
Our
um,
metabolisms change.
yeah, it has, but here I am, and I'm just so thankful that I said yes to myself on this one weird thing. I didn't know what it was, but I trusted the process. I believed in my coach, and really, it's our four components that keep people healthy long term. I've only told you about the eating part because that's where it starts for
Right.
most people. Um, but we've got four components, and the people that dig into all four are the ones who are healthy long term. If you go into this, you just want to lose some weight, and you don't change anything else long term,
Right.
it's just like any other diet. You're going to gain it back.
Yep.
And it's so sad. And that's a hard part for me. But if you talk to your coach, which is me,
Uh-huh.
I'm not scary, talk to your coach. If you get into our mindset part, we've got great mindset tools. We've got great emotional support tools. We've got a habits of health system that's been designed for 20 years to help you learn. We've got podcasts. We've got community webinars every week.
Wow.
And then we've got community. We've got a private Facebook page. So people who dig into all of those components are the ones who are still healthy
Hmm.
years later, and they're the ones who are creating that impact and that ripple effect.
It's very well rounded, it sounds like.
I think so. There's a lot of great companies out there to help you, quote, lose weight. But once you lose your weight, then what?
Right.
Same thing with all the medical weight loss medications now, all the shots and everything else. We have actually been trained to help people navigate that because you still need nutrition, you still need to eat. Otherwise, you're going to lose your muscle, your
Hmm.
metabolism will be worse.
Yep.
And then you just did a diet and you spent all that money in just a different way of doing a diet. And if you partner with us or me or anybody in my organization, it is incredible how you don't have to have so many side effects and you can come out on the other end smaller and healthier and know how to move forward.
So it also sounds to me like you help manage the emotional side of things and the self-concept and all of that.
We do for the people that want to. And I know that you are an expert in this field, Lucretia, so you have a lot of knowledge in this. But my little piece of it, and I'm not a mental health person. I'm not a nutritionalist. I just happen to be a nurse. But
Uh-huh.
anybody can be a coach. That's what's beautiful. Our system is set up for anybody who wants to help anybody. It works. Um, but the mental part, most of the time it starts because you don't feel good, right? And so you're stuffing your emotions with food or sugar or whatever it is. You're bored, you don't have any energy, you don't want to take a walk, you're not getting fresh air, all of those things, right?
Hmm.
We all know what to do, but it's so hard when you don't feel good.
Right.
And that's where I come in. I help you feel good quickly. And once you start to feel good, then you're like, oh, I feel better. Let me go take a walk, or let me call a friend, or oh my gosh, my inflammation is down now, and for some reason I'm sleeping better. I'm not sure why, but I'm sleeping better. And when I sleep better, I don't have as much brain fog.
Uh-huh.
Or when I'm not eating so much junk, I, wow, my joints aren't hurting, so let me take a walk. And so, yes, all of that contributes to mental health
Uh-huh.
and anxiety and depression.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean we're curing everything, but what a beautiful balance that we help create.
Yeah. It's all interconnected, the
It
mood
is.
and
Yeah.
weight and health and yep. Do you yourself have kind of a specialty or a different, you know, something that sets you apart from others?
I would say my specialty is because I'm a nurse. I've just got a little bit more background than other people, and so I can help navigate. When they're feeling dizzy or something, or they're on different medications. I have a little bit more knowledge of like how that interacts, and
Yep.
I can just give that confidence. It doesn't mean other people can't, but I am very confident. I'm used to dealing with all types of people my whole life, and
Uh-huh.
I think maybe that's I haven't said that out loud before, but I think maybe that is a gift that I have
Uh-huh.
that I just can help people I don't really even know move forward.
Nice. Are there any myths about, this area of health and weight loss?
Well, I think a lot of people think, oh my gosh, Debbie is a coach and that she's got this system and you have to, and I can't afford all that. And so I think the cost of having somebody help you, people tend to think that's very expensive. And I'm here to tell you it's not.
Hmm.
I am free, if you
What?
can believe that. Yes, I am. My coaching is free for life. And that's the way our whole company is. Our community is free. Our webinars are free. Our Habits of Health system is just a book system that you buy. And once you buy it, of course, you
You
have it for
have it?
life. There's no monthly fees.
Huh.
The only thing you're paying for from day one is the food.
Right.
If you choose to use the food. Not everybody chooses to use the food. And not everybody needs to lose weight. Some people want to gain weight. Some people are nursing moms. Some people are teenagers. They need to eat,
Uh-huh.
right? And so, we've got diabetics. I help people with autoimmune diseases. I help all kinds of people. And that's the beauty of our program is that we just have a conversation first. We see what's a good fit for you. What parts and pieces of this program can I help you with? And if you're rocking with something, but you need help with something else, I get to partner with you.
Nice.
And that's my heart is just to be able to partner with people for them to get to the goals that they want, not what the BMI chart says,
Right.
not necessarily what your doctor says, but what do you want and what do you want to feel better about?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that weight. That number only takes you so far with motivation.
Right.
But where do you want to be when you're 60, 70, 80, 90? I plan to live to be beyond my hundreds. And so I'm only middle aged and I'm so thankful for the habits of health. So I can keep optimizing my health and improving myself in different ways.
Is there anything about all of this that it's kind of difficult for you that you've struggled with?
I would say I would say one of the biggest difficulties for myself and other coaches is when we love somebody and we know we can help them. And number one, they're either not willing to try or they don't believe enough in themselves to trust us. and just trust the process.
Uh-huh.
Because remember, we're not inventing anything. This program's been around for 40 years.
Right.
So it's just trusting the process. And for people, this is another big thing that I have a big passion for, especially moms, and healthcare people and teachers and people of service,
Mm-hmm.
which you're one of those people, Lucretia,
Yep.
mental health. We want to give, 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 give to everybody else, and we don't take care of ourselves. And that I
Mm-hmm.
know that's where I was. And and just to have a mom or whoever that person is, just to stop and breathe
Uh-huh.
and say, you know what? If I start to feel better, I bet I can be more present with my kids.
Right.
If I just communicate, and yes, I take that 5-minute conversation, that phone call with Debbie, if I just open my book for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, or I listen to a podcast while I'm driving to work, your life can be changed forever in just so many amazing positive ways instead of falling apart as you get older. And I think that's the hardest part is when I don't do a good job conveying that for somebody to just say yes to themselves, or for somebody to just be so downtrodden or so busy they don't stop long enough to realize if I slow down just a little bit, it'll speed me up in the long run.
Yeah. They don't see what's possible.
Yeah, yeah. Part of what we try to do is help people dream, and really just getting back to what did they want to do and be as a kid before all the pressures of adulthood hit.
Well, you're definitely very enthusiastic. I think you probably convince a lot of people.
Well, I don't know, but I do love what I do. I gradually left nursing, and I've not looked back. And then COVID hit, so it was a total God thing. I didn't have to deal with the COVID medical world.
Right, right.
And really, even medical professionals now, they just give so much, and they're so short staffed, and my heart goes out to them.
Mm-hmm.
um, it was a tough job before, and now it really is tough. So my encouragement is to say yes to yourself, set some boundaries, and you'll thank me later.
What are your favorite things to do for your own self-care?
Well, I love to hike. I'm so thankful I found a local gym. It's Modern Fitness, a Legree gym that's all low impact. I have two total hips, so finding a low impact gym that isn't hurting me and putting me in physical therapy all the time like I used
Right.
to, um, is I have so I'm committed this year to 3 times a week, and I'm thankful for
Wow.
that. I I get massages. I see a chiropractor. I love being with other women and collaborating and just having fun. And I also have a horse. Actually have a horse lesson tomorrow, and I'm
Wow.
thankful the weather in Spokane is nice right now, so I
Well, that
don't have to
sounds
worry about.
wonderful.
Yeah, so I am thankful I work from home now, or I work from anywhere. All I need is my phone to be able to help others. And so I'm blessed to be able to set my own schedule and decide what I want to do every day as far as taking care of me.
Wow. Sounds wonderful. Are you going to kind of just keep doing that, or do you have other ideas, anything else you're getting into in the
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, I believe in health from head to toe, basically. So if something, I've found a shampoo that is really helped my hair and other things. So I mean, I am here to help other people feel as good as they can, whatever
Uh-huh.
that looks like. But for now, I'm having a lot of fun and fulfillment being an Optavia health and wellness coach.
Great.
Um, so yes, I'm very thankful.
Would you have I know you have your Optavia products, but would you have a book or anything that you would recommend people,
Yeah.
look into?
I love personal development. I didn't when I was a nurse. I was just surviving.
Mhm.
But it's amazing when you get into an organization that they help build you up, and the culture of of how can we all keep improving.
Mm-hmm.
And our mindset and our mental health, as you know, is part of us optimizing our health for long term. So for the last 8 years, yes, I don't even read regular books anymore. I love personal development. So I've read lots and lots. I love Audible. I love to podcast. But a couple of great books is always The Miracle Morning. That's always a great number one book if you have never done any personal development before. It's an
Okay.
easy read or podcast, or not podcast, Audible book. The Gap in the Gain, which I have that right here. I love this book
Gap
by
in the
Dan
gain. Okay.
Sullivan. And that's all about, especially us women, we just are so negative about all the things we didn't get done on our list. And it helps you realize all the things you really are getting done every day. And we have
Right.
to be able to celebrate ourselves in what we are actually doing,
Mm-hmm.
not all the negativity of what are we not doing? What are we
Yeah. What
not
did you
getting done?
miss? Mm-hmm.
And then lastly is the Habits of Health book, which is one of our books through Optavia, um, by Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. And I think it should be in middle schools, really. It talks
Huh.
about all the micro habits of health. It's not how to do a diet. The book is not about that at all. It's about everything having to do with health, and everything from sleep to emotions, to dealing with drama, to why do we have cravings? Why do we have emotional eating? It's a little bit of everything. And what does life look like when you're optimizing your health after you've met your goals, whatever they are? So that's all in our book, plus our workbook that goes along with it, called the
It
Life Book.
it really does sound like something that teen girls, like even young teen girls, 13 and on up, should be learning about this stuff. They're so focused on their bodies and insecure, and cutting out foods
Mm,
and not getting enough calcium, all that stuff, and worried about what other people think.
yes, it's a
So,
it's a vicious world out there nowadays, and teens do not have it easy. But it
mhm.
starts with the family, really. It starts with mom or dad, one person in the household who wants to take their life back. And that's where our community comes in, because most families, you only have yourself. And it's really hard to
Yep.
try to be healthier when you're the only one in the whole household. And
Uh-huh.
we help you do this. I mean, we help you. I mean, you're not alone in any of this. And once one person in the family starts to feel better, or they get off the couch, or they're not so grumpy, holy smokes, that's when the whole family starts to change. And it doesn't mean you gotta follow a diet. It just means when one person changes, the ripple effect is incredible.
Yes.
And
It affects others.
I can say for my daughter, um, we went through all the things a lot of families go through. We had a lot of trauma and things. And my daughter's 28 now, and thank God she's healthy. But what changed for her when I became a coach and I started doing personal development, she said I changed, and I listened, and I quit telling her what to do. And now I'm going to get emotional because it changed our whole relationship with my daughter. I didn't have a daughter from the time she was 15. Our
Hmm.
relationship disappeared. And we have a beautiful relationship now. And it's because I shut my mouth and I listened and I asked good questions. And all of that came from me becoming a coach and saying yes to myself, and then personal development. And my daughter does tons of personal development now because she watched me do it. And so now we refer
Cool.
books back and forth to each other, and it's just beautiful.
Cool.
It is
Very
cool.
cool.
I'm very thankful. Yeah.
Wow. Boy, do you think seems like we've covered a lot.
I know, I've talked a lot.
Is there anything else you can think of that you think our listeners should know that I haven't asked you?
No, my last thought would be, whoever's listening to this or watching this, you deserve to put yourself first. And even if it's a baby step, or even if it's setting a small boundary, it's incredible what can happen when you do one baby step at a time, and just
Uh-huh.
commit to yourself.
How can people find you? Are you online? Do you have a website? What have you got?
I don't have a website, and neither does the company, to tell you the truth, because we are a
Huh.
relationship company. We
Huh.
we don't. I mean, you could find us in order, but then you're going to get some random coach, and because you have to have a coach to sign up, because that's one of our 4 components, because we are not a diet company. But if you just randomly sign up, you don't know how to get the books, you don't get the all of the promotions that a coach can help you with.
Huh.
You don't get in plugged into a community, which is super important. So we are one-on-one connection with a phone call, with a Zoom. It doesn't take long. But we need to find out, what are you looking for? What are your dreams? And how do you want to feel better, so that we know what might be the right program for you? And then we go from there. There's free consult. We call that a consultation, and that's free. The best way to find me is on Facebook, or Lucretia will put my health evaluation form at the bottom of this podcast, she said, and we just can connect that way. But my Facebook name, it's Debbie, Debbie, De, which is half of my middle name, and then Blackwell, Blackwell. So it's just facebook.com/Debbie, De Blackwell. And so if you're on social media, you can find me there. And if not, just look at the bottom of this podcast or video,
Yes,
and it'll
I'll
be.
put it in the episode notes so that people can find it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Or you can just call me. Should I give my phone number? Because I don't care.
Yeah, if it's kind of for business and people can contact you that way, sure.
Okay, well, you can call me at 509-939-3512. Just send me a text. We'll connect, and I know I'll have something I can help you with, whether it's just a free tip of some sort, or our whole program.
And can you help people across the country? Does it matter where they're at?
It doesn't matter where they're at. Yep. I once did this on the back of a sailboat. Like, as long as I have cell service or internet, I can talk to you. Yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, this has been a great interview. Very interesting. And I didn't know all that stuff. So I'm glad you decided to come on my podcast and let me interview you and take this time.
Well, I appreciate you. Like I said, this is public speaking is brand new to me. So maybe that's where my next step is. Who knows, Lucretia? And
Practicing that.
You help me get out of my box and do something like this. So I appreciate it, and you helped it be very easy to do, really.
Great. Great. All right. Well, I'm about to end the interview. So thank you very much. And if people are interested in, any contact information or anything like that, it'll be in the episode description. And eventually there will be show notes as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Debbie.